161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep center. Gets back, away back. She is gone.
All right, welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street, episode 187. Today we got a little bit of a 2-for-1 episode. I know we missed yesterday's roll call episode. That's our bad. We have been releasing them every single day. It's pretty tough. We're only human, at least we are. Murph's a little bit of a robot. But today's episode, we got a lot jam-packed episode, like regular episodes start. Going to talk about the Judge roll call, spring training updates, just specific people and the whole thing in general. May have been to the booth, a whole bunch of stuff, and then the Hicks roll call on the back end, which should be probably the most entertaining roll call of all of them, because we have a lot of feelings about Mr. Aaron Hicks and whether he will even be on the field. But that is what the agenda is. Before we get started, I wanted to mention, because we haven't actually mentioned it on the podcast yet, we've posted it on social media, but we are doing a giveaway. We're giving away opening day tickets on the Thursday, April 7th, I believe is the day.
That's correct.
Yep. April 7th. All you have to do to enter this giveaway, it's a very simple giveaway. All you have to do is give us a 5-star review on iTunes. You're already on the app if you're on iTunes. If you're not, go on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, scroll all the way down, give a 5-star review, and we will choose somebody, one lucky listener of the podcast, to go to opening day. 2 tickets. You and a friend, or you and your mom, or you and whoever you want to go with can go to the game, and it'll be a lot of fun. We won't be going to that game, unfortunately, but it will be a lot of fun, and you'll have fun. So give us a review, and we love you. So why don't we get started? How are we doing?
Great. Sorry, I was trying to play Wordle. War.
That's a really great time to do that.
Well, I was doing it before we were setting me up, and now,
That's my fault.
I was getting myself in the baseball mood, and I can't figure it out.
No,
so
today's is tricky.
I'll give up. I'll pay attention.
How far'd you get?
A couple guesses in, I gave up.
Tough scene.
But besides from that, let's talk some baseball.
I mean,
I'm
that
excited.
is technically talking baseball. That's a lot more interesting than the baseball we actually have to talk about.
No, we got some things
That's
to talk
not true
about.
at
We have a
all.
lot to talk about right now.
Baseball's back.
Don't
I mean, the
stop.
Yankees just haven't made any substantive moves that we thought we were going to have by the time we recorded a regularly scheduled episode.
We're a Yankees podcast, ergo, we don't really have that much interesting stuff to talk about as far as the Yankees go. I mean, we have stuff that's interesting and that needs to be brought up, but it's not exciting.
I'm excited.
Getting the Wordle right is exciting.
No, I'm gonna need you to not be so pessimistic the whole season.
I'm not going to be
say it.
pessimistic.
I think
the
you
whole
are.
season.
I think you are.
No, the day that opening day starts, I'm going to be all back in, but
I think that's just what your chair is. Like, that's what you bring to this podcast. Very big pessimist. Murph,
I think I'm realist.
I think Murph is the optimist. I'm
No,
somewhere
no,
in between.
Murph's
I'm
the-
the realist.
Murph's
I'm the sit on the fence.
Yeah, you're a depends and then not make an opinion because I don't have
That's
all the
not
facts straight.
all right. It is not that I don't make an opinion. I see both sides.
I'm not quite sure Damon cares, so take that how you
No,
will.
I care. I'm a reactor. That's what I bring to this. I
But I'm somewhere in
I
between.
react to everything.
So why don't we react to this?
Okay.
The first thing on the docket
Overreacts to
today.
everything.
Yeah. No, I don't. No, whatever, fuck you guys. I just thought Clint Frazier would be the top 3 left fielder in baseball by year's end, and he's no longer on the team. But that bobblehead that I have of his is now an antique, so.
Are your hot takes just like a Madden curse?
It's a fucking
Like, same
worthless
kinda deal?
antique.
Yeah, we have to
You also
mark
said-
down.
You also said Ford was going to outplay Voit, and he was gone that year too. Just saying.
Yeah.
But like I said before on the podcast, I said that Voit would get his job taken, and oh boy, was I right on that one. So it's
Yeah,
it's
you were
glass
right.
half full. How do you want to look at it? And I choose to look at it as I called Luke Voit being shipped off.
Yeah, 3 years. Just
A little-
I knew
a
in
little
3
too
years
early.
the Cubs were going to fire Sale and the Yankees were going to get Rizzo. You just saw that, didn't you?
Whatever, man. First up, Aaron Judge extension talks are apparently underway. We chatted with Eric Bolin, and he did not seem to think that an extension would be done before opening day. Obviously, everybody in the world wants that to happen. If you don't want Judge to be extended, your name's probably JJ, who's the only one who still wants to trade Aaron Judge. So talk to me on that. Talk to me what the current status is of the Aaron Judge talks. Do you think, and I'll preface it, do you think there's a chance that it gets done by opening day? Like, do you change your mind after speaking with Eric and now hearing the news today?
So before I saw what I just saw like 20 minutes ago, I was feeling actually a little optimistic. But now that I see that they're arguing over $4 million between 21 and 17 in arbitration, I don't really feel great about it. The last two players that the arbitration actually went to a hearing were Dylan Betances and Chen-Ming Wang, and both walked the next year. So, and they were both over very small differences, except those, honestly, theirs were probably even worse. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think this will go to arbitration?
I
don't think it's going to go to arbitration.
I think it's either going to go to arbitration or he's going to get extended.
I think it's going to. This makes me think he's going to get extended because you can't go to arbitration with. Going to arbitration with Judge versus Dylan Betances is so different. And for those of you who don't remember, Dylan Betances went to arbitration and he basically. I'll start with this. Arbitration is essentially a roast where one side roasts you, the owners and everybody just roasts you and tells you all your flaws, and the other side, Dylan Betances in this case, just basically tells you like why he thinks he's good. And you know, it's a shitty spot to be in, and nobody wins. Even if they settle, there's a third party arbiter who settles in the middle with whatever sides you guys come in ahead of the meeting. Like he's coming in at what right now?
21.
And they want to give
17.
him. That's not super far off. That's not super far off at all. I actually, truth be told, I didn't really listen to the numbers the first time you said that. I'm not worried whatsoever.
They took Dylan Betances over like 1.
It's Aaron Judge versus Dylan Betances.
It's not a franchise player.
That margin is not as big of a gap as you think it is.
I don't think it's some like crazy gap. I think it's the principle. I think that the Yankees think that they're smarter than everyone and that they have the upper hand on everyone in the world.
It's an opening offer. It's negotiations. I actually really think they'll get this done before opening day, and I think they'd be silly to go to arbitration. And like you said, if they go to arbitration,
got 11 out of 12 players done today, other than Judge. So that either means the extension's coming or it's going to get ugly.
I think that means the extension's coming,
or it's going to get ugly. Just telling you.
If this goes to arbitration, you're right. He won't be a Yankee. But I don't think it gets to that because I think they know that too. I think they know if it goes to arbitration, it's not going to be pretty. And like the rest of the league will see that too and be like, yo, why would you, like, how are you going to not extend this man? Everybody else it would be ecstatic to extend him. So it's just, and he's going to realize that too. He's going to be like, I can get any amount of money from anybody. So
he's going to look not so good in Dodger blue next to Mookie Betts next year.
If they got it, Judge too. I'm still I very much believe that he would be a Giant if he wasn't on the Yankees.
Oh yeah, bro. I was just naming a California team and the Dodgers outbid everyone. But I would say, what would you say that your percentage is that he gets extended? Not necessarily before opening day, but before he plays the rest of his career in pinstripes. I would say it's like 50 to 60%.
I'd put it at 85%.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a little low. I think
it's 60%
because I think if he gets an extension, how many years do you think?
7. I think 7's a good number.
6, 7.
7 might be slightly more than the Yankees want to give. I think that's where they would settle and give him the 7th year. But I think they're probably looking at giving him 5 and maybe 6. That's what they're looking at. And then Judge is probably like AAV aside and the gap they have there. I guarantee Judge wants probably 7. I think 7 is fair for him to come in to negotiations with. And I think the Yankees are fair to also offer 5 to 6. I think they've said it too. They want to see 2 years in a row of being healthy. I don't think you can afford that luxury to see the second year because if you let this linger into the season, I think he leaves.
I just don't think that if he does have that second year that's healthy and productive, I just don't think they're going to pay the price that it's going to take because it's going to take mid-30s. I mean,
I think we could get fucked by it. Like I think he's going to have a great year. He's going to stay healthy, and then we're going to end up having to pay more than we would have right now if we got the extension done.
That's almost impossible to say right now.
How is that impossible?
What do you
to
mean?
Like
say?
that, you're just assuming he's gonna have a great year and stay healthy. And we're
But
gonna
he's
be
a really
screwed at
good
the end of the
player.
year.
He's one
No,
of the
I
best
agree,
players
but
in
he's
the
already
league.
proved.
He's
He's
had
already
fluke
proved that
injuries.
he's one of the best players in the league.
So if he stays healthy again, which is the only if,
I
then-
agree. Lock him
It's
up.
only
now.
gonna
And I think
strengthen-
the odds go down quite a bit if we go to arbitration. That's the biggest if for me. I didn't even, I didn't consider that he wasn't gonna be part of the arbitration deals. I didn't think he was gonna go to arbitration at all. And I feel like a lot of players that go into actual arbitration aren't signing extensions at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's a very
No,
unique
if-
situation that he's in right now, and
If
also
he goes
a
to
little
arbitration,
cloudy 'cause-
he's
yeah,
I
as of
think
right
it's
now-
0% chance he resigns.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I might have completely missed something, but isn't it as of right now he can't play in New York?
Yeah.
Still.
Well,
Like-
nobody knows. He hasn't come out and flat out.
I thought they
said it.
lifted that.
No,
No,
They-
they're
the
not-
guy
yeah.
came
nowhere
out. The
close to
mayor
lifting
came out
it.
today and said that he doesn't foresee it lifting it anytime
So
soon.
that also affects his arbitration to say he's gonna play. a
But we
whole
don't
season.
know. I mean, we don't know for sure, and we don't know what will have changed in those 3 or 4
Yeah.
weeks because he hasn't come
No,
out
I
and
agree.
said it, and we obviously don't know anything there. So I think just take that one step at a time. I don't think that right now we can sit here and say, well, that's fucking stupid. Jets came and played 90 games because we don't know, and we're not going to know until April 7th or 9th.
Do you
we're
think
going to
that's
Wednesday, so.
at all holding up his extension talks?
No,
I think that'd be a ridiculous reason to hold up his extension talks.
no.
What
I don't
about his
think-
arbitration? Do you think that might be?
I
why
mean, I
their
think they go
numbers
hand in
low?
hand, though. I don't.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. Like,
I don't think that his vaccination stuff has anything to do with
Yeah.
whether or not they're going to pay him. Because I mean, you have to assume maybe that hopefully that one day this isn't how it's going to be forever, and even if it does bleed into the season, I don't know. I mean, without getting too into the actual policies and stuff like that, because that's not my place and that's not what people come to listen to it for. I guess that's just a roundabout way of getting to the fact that no, I don't think that you can let that affect that. If you let that affect that, then that's a dangerous precedent to set. I mean, you're not going to pay the guy what he's worth for 5, 6, 7 years down the road when you just don't know, and you're going to lose your franchise star over that. That being said, I really and truly I don't think that there's any way they get to the season and Judge is not playing the home games, whether one way or
Yeah.
the other. I just don't think that they
yeah.
can let that happen.
yep.
It's I don't see him being able to play in Toronto though, which I think is going to be a big problem if he makes the playoffs. But that's a long ways away.
That's so far away, and like again, this is I don't think that affects the extension talks at all. I also feel like I'm pretty confident that a deal will get done. I don't know. I just feel like it makes too much sense at this point. And I mean, I don't know. This guy has nothing else to prove. Obviously, he is a play like the whole season, and we obviously need him to win here. But the guy's done so much already. It's not like we're waiting for him to have one more good year to just give him something to prove. We're gonna talk about this in a little bit, but Aaron Hicks, the Yankees gave him a 7-year contract based off of one good season that he had.
It wasn't even that good of a season.
And it wasn't even that good of a season.
That's pretty good.
Aaron Judge was an almost MVP. I'm gonna say he was an MVP because of that other season.
He's a borderline Gold Glover.
Borderline Gold Glover.
He's
and
a
he-
playoff MVP. You take him
And-
out of. I mean, think about the A's wild card game. Take him out of that wild card game. Who knows what happens? He hits the nuke in the first thing. 2-0 lead. Momentum's on your side. Sevy goes out and dominates. Go to the Twins. You're facing Shane Bieber, who just had a historic season. Wins the Cy Young, or he basically had it all but locked up. Comes into the wild card game, and Judge cucks him 6 pitches into the game. So, I mean, you take him out of these playoff series, it's not like we're having great success and winning a World Series, but he had the massive home runs against the Astros in 2017 and again in 2019. He is the face of the franchise. You have to keep him. I just don't know that they will. I just don't feel confident in it right now. But is he worthy of, I'm not saying a blank check because he doesn't, deserve like $60 million a year or anything, but he's worthy of the money and he needs to be extended. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I think there's too many variables to get done in a week.
and also he's also the unofficial captain of the team. Like, if you don't treat that guy with respect, you don't give him an extension before the season starts, it may not be front facing, but I'll tell you right now, it's going to affect the way everyone else plays, because if he's the face of the Yankees, he's the face of the clubhouse, and he's the guy in the clubhouse getting everyone together, and he's unhappy, or if he's not confident in the team and the franchise, then who knows how that affects everyone else and how everyone else is playing.
What does that tell your young stars, Volpe and those guys, if you're not going to extend Judge?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like
if he
you've
doesn't-
literally done everything that an organization can ask you to do up into his point in his career, and this is still a fucking conversation about whether or not he should still be playing for the team.
It's bad. It's not a good look.
Do you think he would accept?
Are you using a calculator right now to figure out
No,
a reasonable
I'm
contract?
in Excel. Do you think he would accept 6 years, 117 million? That's 19.5 AAV.
No, what in
no
the
fucking
fuck is
shot.
that?
He's
Well,
going to
he's
be at
asking
like
for
20. He's
21,
going to be
isn't
at
he?
25
No, that's an arbitration.
for arbitration.
Arbitration
He's gonna get-
numbers are way different.
So what
He's
do you
going to
think he's
get
gonna
like
want
25 to 30.
I think
25 to 30,
if you do
at least.
7
His
years,
numbers felt low.
yeah. If you,
That's so low.
I've heard you
That
typing
would be
over
the
there for
most
10 minutes, and that's
team-friendly
what you
of
came up with.
No, that wasn't. I was just. I was looking. I was looking up the NYC stuff. I was reading an article on that, but which, by the way, does not look very great at the moment. But
I think if you give him 7 years, 200 million, that's right, knocking on the door of 30 a year for 7 years. I think you get it done. I think that's where you start, and you kind of fluctuate within, you know, plus or minus 10 million from there. I think that's the sweet spot, and I think if you do that, then you get it done. But we all know the Yankees, and they're going to come in with like 4 years and for 80 million, and he's going to give him a finger. And
I would like to strike my initial offer from the record.
thank you.
I think a reasonable thing would be 6-7 years, and then in the 2 to the low 200 range.
Yeah, I think that gets it done.
That gets it done. I think.
I don't know.
Who says no?
Who says no? Why not us?
Balls in your court, Yankees. All right, let's move on to the next thing. So spring training's been underway, obviously. It's been a few games so far, and we have some way too early predictions, reactions to this. So what are some of the fun stats that don't matter?
Glaber is
I
4
think-
for 6.
No, I think somebody misinterpreted. I tweeted out today. I said I love the early spring training stats are amazing because they make me laugh, not because I was actually being sarcastic. I think Jordan Montgomery is the worst pitcher ever. Like I think today he got pulled after recording 1 out, gave up 3 or 4 runs. He had an 81 ERA, a 12 WHIP, and I just think that's funny. You know, I mean Judge is batting 0, Giancarlo Stanton's hitting almost 700. Like I love the early spring training ones. I don't know, they make me laugh.
The stats don't matter, but there are some things that do. Like you can really, like for Glaber, for instance, he's 4 for 6. You said,
Yeah.
he looks like you can look good, and that can be promising. I feel like if you look bad, you have a little bit of a cop out because you just say you're knocking off the rust. It's spring training. You're not supposed to be good yet, but I think it's just an added bonus if you are playing well, and that kind of leads me into the Sevy stuff. Like Sevy, you know, when you look at the box score, he gave up 4 runs, but when you look at the stuff, he touched 98. He was like really looking good. He left one over the middle and gave up a 2-run home run, but like when you don't really need to look at the fucking numbers, and you can see it on his face too. He doesn't give a shit. He was smiling like when he gave up hits and whatever. Like in a real game, he's gonna be pissed when he gave up just a hit, but you know, runs, nothing really matters. It's just getting the reps in and going through the motions. I think his stuff looked pretty fucking good. What do you guys think?
No,
I mean, here's the thing about pitchers, especially in spring training. Like, they're not pitching the situation really in spring training right now.
No,
like,
They're testing new pitches.
They're trying to get their stuff in. Exactly.
They
They're
talked to
trying.
Montgomery after today. He was like, "Yeah, I threw almost all fastball." He was like, "It's a pitch I wanted to work on, and I knew I was probably not going to do well. I wanted to try out my fastball, so I came in today and I threw all fastballs, and they hit me hard, and that is what it is, and that's." It's best to not react to anything, good or bad. I think the bad stuff's funny, but especially when you have an offseason this disappointing and some people who are actually serious, like, oh my God, we didn't go out and get a starting pitcher. Look at Jordan Montgomery. I am the poster boy for we didn't do shit for the offseason. It was a massive failure, but I don't think that Jordan Montgomery getting hit in a spring training game matters. But it is encouraging to see stuff like Gleyber Torres. He's coming off a down 2 years, and he actually looks locked in. We were talking to Eric about it. He said that he's, there was kind of some locker room stuff that they're kind of, I guess, getting past, and he's assimilating back in, and he's just getting his head in a better space, and all these other things, which play into stuff like that. So when you hear that a lot of the fundamental changes off the field, coming in better shape, which they say about everybody, but it seemed like the last couple of years he was coming in a little pudgy. So he's coming in better shape. He's more focused. He's more driven. And then to translate into on-field results, it's hard to not get a little excited. So do I think he's going to come out in the season and just be the best player of all time? No, I hope he is, but I think it is an encouraging sign. But to your point, other stuff, the Jordan Montgomery, the Sevy, I think Sevy looked incredible. His pitches looked great. He was sharp. His breaking balls were sharp. They just, there's a lot of location problems, which you'll get through reps. So,
I mean, he's throwing 98 first day.
He's throwing 98.
That's
and
pretty
all
fucking
of it,
unbelievable.
Doesn't fucking suck.
I was shocked when I saw that.
98
I
and all the
think he would
breaking
touch
pitches
that.
were moving how he wanted them to, and he wasn't throwing them timid or anything like that. So, which is easy to do if you're coming off Tommy John, and understandably so.
Are you more or less? I think the obvious answer is more, but I guess I won't even ask the question. I am more confident in that statement that Boone said that he looks like he's the most ready for the season out of all the pitchers. I think he looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's like probably would have been rehabbing and coming back the entire offseason. Like he's probably the most just like in the readiness of like, let's do drills and work out and not just throw the ball, because I feel like he's been trying to get back to his regular self for a
This
year
is his
now.
first full offseason.
So I feel like he's been in that kind of like warming up stage for a while, for lack of better words, and not just like coming out there and just throwing the ball.
Tyone looked good. Just speaking of
looked very
injury people.
Yeah, the biggest thing with him is just how he felt. He said he felt good health-wise, and like that's obviously a concern coming off injury. What was his injury that he came off of?
He had ankle surgery. I think he had a blown tendon in his
So
ankle.
that's obviously the biggest concern. And my concern for the entire team, obviously we are very brittle as an organization. I think if we could just get out of spring training completely healthy, I think that would be the biggest win on the planet.
That'd be
With
the
that being
first time
said,
in
do you
years.
think what do you think the over-under on players that are going to be hurt?
Somebody's
by
gonna
the
get
end of
like
spring
a
training.
Rivera type torn Achilles tendon type thing.
I'd set the over-under
put
in
in 2.5.
guys that would make
Well, we have
the
one,
that would
Domingo.
make the 26-man roster. Okay, Domingo counts towards that, so I'll add one to what I was already going to set. 2.5, I think, is fair. I was going to say 1.5 of guys who would make the 26-man roster will be out for a significant amount of time.
I don't know significant, but I think they're at least going to be a
I
Aaron
just think
Boone,
that's fair.
an Aaron Boone quote unquote like shoulder thing. He's got a shoulder thing.
But
What
the
the fuck
shoulder
does that
thing
mean?
is usually 60-day IL for
Yeah.
any player.
Well,
It's
that
like,
was what they said
oh,
about
you know,
Domingo.
he's got a groin thing a little. He's I don't know. He's gonna work it out. We'll see how he looks in a couple of days. I mean, I don't know. Actually, that's
I don't
usually
know
like
how-
Gary. Who's
I don't know
gone.
how many people are going to come out of spring training necessarily hurt, but we also have to keep in mind that it's a shortened spring training. So I feel like early season injuries are also going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And early season off days are going to be a really big thing as well. We're talking about like the scheduled off days we always get so mad about with Judge and Stanton. But if it's 3 weeks of spring training games and then you're playing a full schedule, I'm not opposed to giving them a day or two.
So this 2.5 line of injuries extends a week into the season as well to give us a true spring training over under.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I think it's going to cause problems though, for not just the Yankees. I mean, for everybody. But
It's all right. At least we got a little younger and less injury prone with Donaldson.
yeah, that's one thing they're talking about a lot on the broadcast
What?
is the change in kind of the style of player that they brought in this offseason in the
What,
in the
old?
Connor for left, but most not old. No,
I was so
they were
scared.
talking
Like
about
defensive.
IKF, and it's defensive. Also, I didn't realize he played catcher. He came up as a catcher.
Yeah, in his first year, he's not going
Didn't
to play. He's going
but
to play
nobody
catcher as
could.
much as Gallo's going to play third.
Well, we might
And
need
it's-
that
and it's
because
and you want a guy that could do that in that situation, because then if Higgy or Rutherford,
who's already hurt.
whatever his name is already hurt,
Yeah,
you
so
don't
we're
need
at
to
2.
carry.
Oh yeah,
You
wait,
don't-
that's 2 of the 2.5 already. So maybe it's 3.5. We'll
But no,
account for
I'm
1.5
saying-
more on top of what's already happened so
All
far.
I'm saying is that you don't necessarily need to carry a second catcher at all times.
Yes, you do.
He's not
He
necessarily.
is an emergent. He is a catcher
Murph.
like Luke Voigt was a catcher.
Murph, he's not going to catch ever. He's a catcher as much as like Kyle Schwarber is a catcher. He's a catcher in MLB The Show. Like you can technically slot him into a secondary position, but he's not a catcher for all intents and purposes.
He's going to catch if here's what he's going to catch is when if Higgy gets hit and shatters his wrist, and then the very next inning, who the fuck even is our backup? I don't even know. Rob Brantley. Rovert's hurt. So Rob Brantley, and then he goes down the next inning because he's 485 years old. Then they may call in Mr. Kiner Falefa, but that's about the only way is if they both have significant injuries in the same game.
2 questions. One,
2 answers.
How do you pronounce Ben's last name? The new catcher, Roadvert.
I think that's the closest I've got when I've.
We're gonna call him Roadhouse. Second question is he very hurt or what's his status?
He has
apparently
no
he was
thing.
already hurt.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
the Yankees knew about it before.
So did we just waive? Oh, we knew about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, oh, you know what? IKF.
Yeah,
can
Brian Cashman very openly said, "Yeah, we knew about the Oblake thing before the trade."
To be fair, he
Didn't
wasn't
tell- we
really
didn't
the
tell
sweetener
anybody.
in the deal. So
Yeah, yeah, that didn't make the deal any better.
I don't think Mr. Ben Roadhouse was the guy who really broke the camel's back in this deal.
I think he was whenever Cashman found out he was injured. He's like, oh wait, we can go
he
ahead
fits
and add
right
another,
in.
Yeah, we can have another one of those guys. Fucking
Gotta
done.
fill up our IR somehow.
What a clown, dude. 260 million fucking dollars, and that's what you shit out.
It does bother me that he said.
What an arrogant statement.
What was it? What was
He
the
was
exact
like, we
words
have
that
the
he said?
highest payroll in team hit. He said we have a very good team and we have the highest payroll in team history. A, no shit.
B, inflation.
Yeah, and the
New CBA that
C,
added millions to the
The
arbitration.
new CBA. E, you're making more money year over year in terms of revenue every single year. You're worth more than you ever have been. Like all irrelevant. And like you said perfectly in a semi-viral, I would go as far to say as viral tweet.
what's
Mr.
new?
Chandler with the Twitter fingers. Spending money is not the same as spending it wisely, and it's ridiculous that he doesn't see that, and the fact that he brought that up means he doesn't see that.
That means no. The fact that he brought that up is that he has seen the criticism, and he's just trying to defend his own ass. It's the same Cashman that we've seen for the last 5 years that he thinks he's smarter than everybody in the fucking world. Which
They closed the gap on him.
yeah, they
For sure.
no, they did, but we reopened the gap by bringing in Kiner Falefa and Donaldson, and Roadvert.
Roadhouse.
Oh wait, and Marwin Gonzalez. I
Roadhouse.
forgot about that powerful signing over the weekend.
Yeah, I took a peek at his numbers for the last 2 years. He's quite possibly the worst baseball player in the history of the planet. I honestly would. I mean, he is basically Tyler Wade, but worse.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Slower, can't
He's
field
he's
as
a
well,
he's
can't
a
hit as
switch
well.
hitting worse Tyler Wade, older
Yeah.
too.
Sounds like Aaron Hicks and Tyler Wade. Put
Probably can't slide as good as Tyler Wade. So
He's the infield Gary Hicks.
definitely.
give Tyler the nod there.
What are we doing?
I don't know, man. Maven's in the booth now. So you want to talk about that?
Oh, real quick, actually, there was while we're talking about spring training, and then we can move to Maven in the booth. Did you see Anthony Rizzo's quote today?
Did not.
It
Would
was
you like to tell me?
I would. It was 100% correct, and I totally agree. And I think that the Yankees, maybe Mr. Wise Man Cashman, could take a peek at this. Is you can't win a World Series in April and May, but you sure can lose one and put yourself out of it, Mr.
See,
Anthony Rizzo. And
Actually,
that
I
is dead.
did see that. First glance, I thought he was throwing shade at the front office for not adding more people, and that was I like first glance, I was like, holy shit, he just signed and is already throwing shade at this team. I thought he was like, you can lose it in March by not signing
guys
enough
like Anthony
people.
Rizzo instead of going for Freeman.
Huh?
Yeah, you guys
by signing Rizzo instead of Freeman.
Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. You guys really fucked up signing me over
Now that the ink dried, you guys fucked up.
Good luck.
No, but I mean, I obviously he's right. I mean, we shot ourselves in the foot last year by losing a shit ton of games early. So I hope we don't do that again.
Well, I wouldn't get your hopes up.
All right,
I feel like we're
Can
gonna
we?
be
Yeah,
just
Chandler,
like-
enough
can
of
we-
the
can we
pessimistic
stop?
thing.
This team is actually not a bad team. We're gonna win a lot of games, and I saw people tossing around the over under the amount of wins that we're gonna get this year. I'd put it in the 90s still. The only thing that makes me think it'll be lower than that, and maybe in the 80s, the 80s is 500 baseball. The only thing that makes me think that we're close to that is because our division is so hard. And obviously that's the key to, I mean, Luke's key to the playoffs is like just play our
to the game.
The key to the game, or the drive of the game, is
Presented by Jeep.
play our fucking division well, and that's gonna be the toughest fucking thing. It's easier said than done, obviously, but like our division's fucking hard. That's the only thing that maybe puts me. But even with that, I think we'll still come out at around.
We're not gonna get
88 wins is probably my low. I think
we're not gonna get fucking swept every game by the Rays, Red Sox, and Blue Jays.
We can get
we're a good
swept
team.
every time. We're okay. We're pretty good.
You're right.
We're pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's not exciting.
That's
I think we're at the bottom half of the contenders.
You're right.
Contenders of what?
We'll know.
That's exactly what the front office wanted. Enough to fucking sell
Bottom
tickets.
half out
Enough
of
to sell
32
tickets.
teams?
Enough to
No. I'm
barely
saying
sneak into
bottom.
the playoffs.
We're at the bottom of teams that should be
Playoff
considered
teams.
contenders.
Do you know why that's honestly
That's,
even
Oh,
better?
not just
that's
playoff teams.
still called a contender.
Yeah,
We're not a contender.
we're a custom.
Oh my
we're,
God.
We're more than a custom.
I think we're a
contender.
contender.
Yes,
I
we're a
think
contender.
I think
Do you know why?
there are much better contenders though?
Yes, of course. Do you know why this is perfect for the Yankees front office as well, and the people that care about making money, Hal Steinbrenner? Because not only do we get, we will sneak into the playoffs, and we also sell much more meaningful tickets in the dog days of summer and towards the end of the season, near September area, because then we're in the playoff race, we're in the pennant race, so it's like very important baseball around that time.
I don't know.
So
I
it's
mean,
just-
they'll make more money off one World Series game than they will off
That's true.
3.
Tell
wild
Hal
card
Steinbrenner
divisional
that. Tell
games.
Brian Cashman that.
Regardless, moving on.
We'll find out quick. I'll put it this way. We'll find out very quick what this team is, their trajectory is. Our first 7 games are against Boston and the Blue Jays. So
That's fantastic.
Eh.
Have we addressed Story going to the Red Sox yet on this podcast? No, right?
No,
no.
That sucks.
that really sucks.
That's so just bring that up.
Even didn't DJ say that? DJ LeMahieu, who was like never spoken a word ever to the press about anything meaningful, was like, yeah, I really didn't want to go in there.
It was like the one team I don't want Story to go
Yeah.
to, Red Sox. That's the same
DJ
thing.
said that?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we were one of the ones that were potentially going to get him, and that would kind of like put him in no man's land because that would put Story at probably definitely shortstop, and then that would move. I guess that
No,
wouldn't really
Falefa
bump
would
him
probably
out.
Like
be
second.
like-
next to his
That
hand.
would put Falefa. That would be so sad. Like,
Catcher.
yes, I would be extremely happy. He'd be catcher, yeah, Murph. That would make me really happy. Obviously, we would have Story, but like, that's like, put yourself in Kiner Falefa's shoes. Like, he's all pumped. He posted a picture of being a bleacher creature when he was young. He shaves the beard, posts that video, and then just loses his job after a week of having it. That would be the most brutal thing ever.
I wish we could set a lineup like MLB The Show where you play like a secondary position and like your stats go down a little bit. So I could like put like Trevor Story at catcher and like he's just a little bit worse.
I mean, he would have probably less pass balls than Gary had.
Facts.
Oof, zinger. That's enough out of the Gary hate. The Gary supporters thought I was done. Not.
Never.
Can we talk about Maben in the booth?
Yeah, he did. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he was good, but he definitely needs a little polish. He's a little raw.
I mean, he's
Which I mean,
quite
that's-
literally the rawest they come.
It's the first game ever.
It's the
I'm-
first game ever.
I'm not
No,
criticizing him. I just said I think he's gonna be good. I was just telling you. That was
It kind
my-
of sounded like you pulled a guy out of the clubhouse and put him in the booth.
yeah.
Which I think
Which is exactly what happened.
I think that's fun. I think that's a different. I like the idea of a less polished, and obviously I think he's gonna get more reps and he's gonna be a lot better. He's working with one of the best color commentators or announcers in the world, that being Michael Kay. I mean, I think he'll get better, but I like the idea of him being a raw, just like was recently in the locker room type guy.
Yeah.
I feel like that would give us a nice, fun perspective.
No, I agree. I think he's
No,
gonna.
but-
I think he's gonna be awesome. I think he's gonna be a good addition, and I hope he's there for a long time. I love Cameron Maben.
Do you think he's gonna be like how, like, you know, when Tony Romo first went to announcing and he started calling plays because he was so in tune with what it would happen, what like the plays looked like in the league and all the players and all that stuff? Do you think he's gonna be able to like be like, oh, just like call out things before they happen on the field?
I mean, it's baseball. It's
I mean, it's fun
to.
to.
A
It's
little different than football.
yeah, I know.
It's baseball
calling
season.
it's
plays.
fun. I
but-
think he's gonna have a lot of insight on the players,
Yeah.
like specific players and what
Yeah.
their like routines are and like habits and like all that stuff because he has the scouting report more than anybody would.
Is David Cohn
Well,
still doing some for Yes?
Yeah, a little
Okay, I
bit.
was gonna say I like to listen to him talk about pitching, but
Yeah, he's doing Sunday Night Baseball now.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's only. I don't think he's doing all of them. I think he's doing like.
It's like 50-50 split or something weird.
Yeah, I think he's doing like 8 or 9 or something like that. And he might be doing some Wednesday night. I don't know.
Doesn't Brian Cashman's contract run out at the end of this year?
I don't care. We're not talking about that.
No, I'm curious. What if I would just want Derek Jeter
I don't
there?
know.
I think it would
He's
be
probably
cool.
gonna set himself into arbitration.
Give himself extension before judge.
You guys want to get into the Hicks roll call?
Not really, but yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to.
All right, so Aaron Hicks roll call. I want to preface it with this.
How the mighty have fallen. Doesn't even get a whole episode to himself anymore.
I mean, it's still going to be a full roll call episode.
It's a
It's
situational
different.
roll call.
It's not a combined roll call like some of the other players. Like we're going to combine a lot of the bullpen guys and do a roll call historically, or I should say, I don't know what I was going to say. Last year, Loaizaga and Sessa were paired together. At least Hicks gets his own, kinda. But
At the back end of a half an hour
yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
so if you're
say
still
what
here, you're gonna get the Aaron Hicks episode. Age 32 year, going into his fourth year of a 7-year, $70 million contract. I don't know if this is an accurate statement, but I feel like it kind of, to a lesser extent, feels like we're trying to shave off years of this contract, similar to the Orioles did with Chris Davis. Because it's just such a bad contract that you're just like hoping the years fall off. Obviously, it's $70 million and not however much Chris
they're
Davis
paying
had.
Chris Davis until 2032, I think, or something crazy.
No,
like
but
that.
not like the smaller deferred money, like when they actually had him
it
on the
was
roster
165.
Chris Davis. Chris Davis is the highest paid player on the Orioles roster this year.
this year.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Kind of a little bit what it feels like to be Aaron Hicks because he gets paid to do absolutely fucking nothing. And also, I will say, I feel like the Yankees social media team is trying to throw propaganda at us because there has been at least 3 highlight clips of Aaron Hicks. It's been a short spring training already. One, I think he hit a home run, right?
No.
He didn't hit a home run.
Fuck no, he didn't.
They sure as fuck made it seem like he did.
He
and
hit
then
Probably
a,
last
he
year.
hit a loop double that should have been at least a triple. I was watching it yesterday, and it was the first sign of Aaron Hicks I've seen in like 2 years, which I know he played like 20 games last year, so what the fuck ever. You know what I mean? And he had a little looping line drive over second base that the center fielder and right fielder dove into each other for. Both missed. The ball trickled away, and Aaron Hicks barely made it to second because he was fucking walking to first. Like, there we go. There's the Aaron Hicks we all love and know.
Yeah, he pimped a blooper over the second baseman's head.
He's just
Couldn't
fucking
make it.
pouting and like moonwalking to first. Like, dude, come on. You haven't played in a year and a half, and that's how we're gonna fucking start off.
I just feel like there's propaganda being thrown our way because I feel like the social media team is trying to make it seem like he's not the most useless man on the planet as of
Is he
recently.
the new Gary?
I'd go as far to say yes, until proven otherwise. I think he can. I mean, that's
You know what I mean.
a
Obviously,
pretty
he's,
shitty thing to be.
he's not that low, but I'm just saying as far as somebody that we're gonna shit on a lot because
I mean, to be fair,
I hope not.
Looking at it now, I mean, he did play 32 games last year, but he did hit below his weight. So
I'm just.
maybe we make that another
It
rule.
sucks too because we need him to be.
How
good.
much does he weigh?
205. It's
No,
not
he-
that hard.
The past 3 years, he averaged above his weight.
Probably not by much.
Above his weight.
Yeah.
What,
He
he got
averaged
230?
218.
I'm saying last year.
218?
The last 3
That's
years,
still
he averages 218.
That's so bad.
It sucks, man. That's what I was gonna say. I think
That's gonna be fun. Let's do that. Let's see if he falls below his body weight.
it's really disappointing because he's such a key cog to this fucking team.
He's huge, yeah.
We need a center
Dude,
fielder.
Well, not
He can
just not
play.
just a center fielder. He's a switch hitter that's supposed to be a table setter, the high on base guy, and he just fucking isn't anymore. It's really really frustrating.
he
He
really,
still
you have more
walks.
stats about getting on base.
I mean, he
but
still walks, but while his walks have remained constant, his strikeouts are skyrocketing. He's getting slower. He's getting worse in the field. His defense is getting worse every year. He's getting slower every year. It's
he
frustrating.
just doesn't play enough. He just does not play enough.
Is he still an elite walker? I know you mentioned the walks.
I don't know. I thought you had that up.
Oh,
I mean, I was on base percentages here. I mean, I'm gonna exclude last year because he played 32 games out of a whole season, and he had in 2020 he's on base was 379, then it was 325, 366, 372. So he does get on base when he plays.
He averages 332 for the last 3 years. One other thing I wanted to point out about his playing time and what you can probably expect for this upcoming season. If you throw away 2020 where he played 54 games out of 60, every other year in his entire career, he averages 53% of games played. Every other year if you throw away that.
That's with 2 seasons, one at 137 and one at 123. So
I mean, you got to keep those in.
Well,
though.
I know.
But
I'm
if
just
you
saying,
remove,
but
if
he's
you
got a long career and only 2 of them he's hit 100.
if you remove 2018, which was his last good year, which triggered him to sign the contract that he signed, he averages 48% of games played. It's just not fucking good for a center fielder, and we need him to play more games than that. And that, I mean, I guess you build that in. Like, he's going to play half the games. That's just your expectation for Aaron Hicks. He's going to play half the games. He's going to miss time. There's just no chance he won't. And I'm not being pessimistic by saying that. Just look at the fucking numbers. Judge is going to have to play a bunch of center field. He's going to probably play out of the half remaining that Hicks is going to play. I'm just trying to forecast this year. Hicks is going to play half. Judge, I'd probably say, is going to play 25% in center field. And then I think Gardner is going to play the other 25%.
Yeah,
That's the most likely scenario.
I was just about to ask who else can play center field besides Aaron
Brett
Judge.
Gardner.
I bet Brett Gardner plays 100 games this year.
In center field?
Yeah.
I fucking hope not.
I disagree.
Fucking hope not.
Surely there's no way it can happen again.
It would surprise you.
I can't wait to clip that, save it, and just
By the
Murph
time
saying,
this-
surely there's no way Brett Gardner plays 100 games in center field, and then he plays 162 in center
Dude,
field.
no, by the time this releases tomorrow, with the first sights and sounds of Brett Gardner in months today, I bet he's out there on the field by the end of the week.
Dude, we'd be such a better team if Aaron Hicks was not the everyday center fielder and Aaron Judge was.
If Aaron Hicks was a fraction of what the player was that he got paid for, we would be a better team. He doesn't even have to be 380 on base and hit 250 and hit 20-something home runs.
But I feel like he's also a guy that even if he's not hitting well, he's still going to play no matter what.
He's going to play every day because he's a switch hitter. He gets on base, and the Yankees just cream themselves to switch hitters because we don't have we have people that hit lefty now. But
if he's healthy, he's playing, and that I think is just the worst case.
I mean, that's the only option, and they paid him, and that's I don't know. I don't really see any way, barring injury, that they bench him. I just really don't. Not for an extended period of time.
I mean, in a perfect world, you have Judge in center most days. Washington is never going to happen, but I wish it did. And then you have Gallo in right, Stanton in left, but he's also Stanton's DH all the time too. And then you have someone else DHing.
No, in the perfect world, you have Josh Donaldson DHing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
but
you have Stanton in center. You've got, or not Stanton in center, excuse me, Judge in center, Gallo and Stanton in the outfield as well. And then you can actually play the entire infield too, and there's no weird DJ Glaber question where you have to argue over who deserves the playing time when you have a Gold Glover that's outperformed him every single year but one, or the high upside Glaber Torres, who was supposed to be your franchise cornerstone, because nobody wants to have that conversation. It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here
we are.
I don't know. Aaron Hicks is he's just there.
I want him to be good.
Taking up space.
Where do you think he falls in the order right now?
Probably 5, 6.
Throw a dart at numbers 1 through 9.
Literally.
I don't know.
That's so fucking true.
I think anywhere 2 through 5, I think are pretty locked up. Anywhere else, just fucking pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it last episode, but I feel like Josh Donaldson, if he's playing, he's the perfect 5 hitter. But you're also talking about Aaron Boone and the Yankees, and Aaron Boone just again probably closes his eyes and picks out of a hat.
If I had to pick, I'd say 7.
I think 7
because they're going to use him to break up the righties, because it's going to be
7 makes a lot of sense.
It's going to be one. whoever,
It's gonna be-
either Rizzo or DJ, whatever you want to do there. But regardless, it's a
2
lefty
through
right. Doesn't
5 are
matter.
going to be Judge, Gallo, Stanton, Donaldson. Not in that order necessarily, but those are going
I
to be
think it would be
hard.
Judge,
Stanton, Gallo,
maybe Stanton,
Donaldson.
Gallo, so it breaks it up more. But I know they want to have Gallo probably in between Judge and Stanton.
That
Which I
way we
highly
can-
disagree with.
Yeah, we can get a strikeout in there.
Yeah.
Sneak a strikeout in there.
Don't want to keep the momentum riding
Just
too
make it
high.
harder for Stanton.
I don't know. I think around 7 would probably make sense. Anywhere between 7 and 8, maybe even double lead off him. I don't really give a fuck. Just as long as he's not batting 4 like Gardner used to do.
Dude, there was a,
Dude, I
a
fucking
legitimate time where Brett
Can't
Gardner...
stand. Brett Gardner just cannot play this
Didn't
year.
he hit third in the wild card game last year?
Pretty sure he did.
He just can't.
That's
He
bad.
can't do it. He can't. I love Brett Gardner. I'm not trying to shit on him, but he just cannot come back.
It's time.
He
It's-
can't come back for the sake of his team and for the sake of his
He's gonna
lineup.
come back.
He can't.
How are they going to bring him back, dude? Have you seen those new stupid fucking spring training hats? He's going to get sunburnt.
I have seen the bald people and like whoever made the spring training hats. Fuck you.
Maybe, hot take, maybe
Little
that's why they
avatar.
haven't re-signed him. They knew that it was a health hazard for Brett at this age.
Here's what I wish would happen. Brett Gardner is just on standby. Okay, if something happens to Aaron Hicks and he gets hurt, which
You mean when something happens
yeah, I
to
mean
Aaron Hicks?
when Aaron Hicks gets hurt, and if we don't have anyone else coming up, just sign Brett Gardner for a short-term deal for like a couple months.
he is the replacement when Aaron Hicks goes down.
I know, so I wish that he was just on standby. So
Do you
whenever
think
we need
do you
him.
think he would do that? Because I know there's been comments of like other teams have reached out to him. Pretty sure that the Blue Jays have
Blue
reached
Jays
out
just
to him,
did.
and he said that he's not going to accept any contract until the Yankees talk to him.
Yeah.
Sounds like it sounds like an ex-girlfriend that just like wants to be talked to. Do you think he would ever play for another team?
I think he's just trying to make the Yankees
He's
scared.
trying to use his one bargaining chip that he has.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm the longest tenured Yankee. I played in 09. Bring me back.
Yeah.
I think he would.
If he comes back, if he comes back, we're gonna hear so many times about how much intensity he brings. Because I feel like every single inning during spring training, they're like, yeah, they're just trying to replace the intensity that now the Gardner's not come back. They like need somebody to bang on the dugout and bring that intensity into the clubhouse.
And that's gonna be like
I'm
something
back.
about.
I am
the reason.
totally cool with it. I think it
As
makes.
a clubhouse guy, great.
I
but-
love that.
We can't. It
No,
can't happen.
Dude, it's gonna. I don't.
Have you just thrown the white flag in, like thrown the towel in, waved the white flag on the whole offseason?
As it sits right now, Aaron Hicks, when he goes down, I mean, I just know they're not gonna play
I would rather
Judge
see Tim
every day center
LeCastro.
field. I just don't agree. I think
It's time.
I don't give a shit, honestly. Just fucking. But they're gonna sign him, so it's just a matter of when, and he's gonna be the replacement. You think the Yankees are going to play if they have Gardner, which they will, and Tim LeCastro, and Hicks goes down on April 9th. Do you think? Do you really think?
Can't wait for that to happen.
Do you really think that they're gonna put in Tim LeCastro over Brett Gardner? Brett Gardner is the
No.
first guy off the bench.
I think that we've been talking about this forever. I think it needs to be one of the younger guys at this point. I don't understand
Like
how.
Florio?
I mean, we've been talking about that for
I
2
don't-
years.
That's
Lamar,
what pisses
maybe.
Ryan. Did you
Is
say
he still
yeah,
on the
they,
Yankees?
No, they re-signed him.
He was a non-roster invite, I think.
I'd
I'm
rather
telling
that than
you-
Brett Gardner. I'd
Wait.
rather Tim LeCastro than Brett Gardner.
Same. Wait till we get to opening day and you see Marwin Gonzalez, Tim LeCastro, and Ryan Lamar on the lineup, or not in the lineup, but on the roster. This is a real thing. These are the people that we're putting on our roster while the rest of the league gets better. You want to know why I'm pessimistic? Because our opening day roster is going to have 3 center fielders and none of them are good. While the Blue Jays went out and traded for Matt Chapman and have Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette and George Springer, and the list goes on and on and on and on.
I don't know what it is though. I feel like when Hicks is out there, I irrationally feel slightly confident that he will be a shell of a baseball player out there.
I do
I
when he
think- I
hits
think he'll-
lefty. I think it's when he hits lefty. I feel good about it.
Like I think it's just a swing. He's got a good swing. I have
Which
it
is weird because he can't
burned
hit
yeah.
left
burned
side.
in my brain. I have that that home run off the foul pole. He does hit clutch. I think the metrics show that. I remember it. I remember it from that moment.
I think I saw a number that one time that says that
I was at a game once where he had a good hit.
I feel like he gets big hits. I can check the
He
clutch
hit that,
numbers.
He hit that
No,
walk-off
he
home
does.
run against the Mets, too, in the COVID year.
the
I think
walk-off catch against the Twins.
Yeah, that'll count towards his offense.
Dude, if he did that again, he would actually shatter into pieces.
you just evaporate.
He would just evaporate.
I think
He wouldn't get up.
retire and
I
just
think
right
if-
off into the sunset.
If Hicks didn't have that one home run off the foul pole, I think he'd be playing for the AAA Tigers this year.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hot take.
Dude, here's the thing, though.
You wanna
Like,
see, wait, before you go, do you want to see
Yeah.
the similar batters to Aaron Hicks via Baseball Savant?
Yeah, so badly.
This is, I don't even think this is accurate. These guys are good-ish. They're better than Hicks, so I think he's getting a little bit of a.
List them off. We'll say
little
it's
bit of
better,
a
worse, or
bump.
the same.
I mean, this is a bad first one. Nick Castellanos. That's just not true.
All right, so this
That's
list
just
has no
not-
credibility.
Jason Hayward. I think that one
That's fair.
That one's
is
fair.
fair.
Current Jason Hayward, yeah.
He should have been so good.
Travis Darno hits for
That's kind of not similar at all. really.
Andrew
I think these are
McCutcheon?
just bad fielder. Well, no.
Yeah,
just Hayward is a good
38-year-old
fielder.
Andrew McCutcheon. Okay, fair.
I don't even know what this. Disregard all that. That's just not true.
No, I think that Hayward and McCutcheon are fair.
Alex Presley.
Don't even know who that is, so
I
that
guess
makes sense.
that one makes the most
Yeah.
sense out of all of
Makes
those.
sense.
Do we fully hate Hicks?
I just think
That's the way this one sounds.
that he is someone who like is so important to this lineup and just disappoints us all the time and just always gets hurt and has just
I think it's the way he
been
goes
on a
about
strict
it.
down. Yeah.
Should we just tender our expectations though? Like I feel like
But it's
we're not let down because we never think he's gonna be great.
Well, I mean, the last-
here's the thing. I think every other year, I think we did think he's gonna be great. I think
Because
this
here's-
year
yeah.
we don't. So I think we won't be disappointed and we won't hate him that much.
I think it's the way he carries himself because he
What,
carries
pimping the walks.
but he carries himself like he's this big badass, and then he gets hurt 20 games into the year and underproduces, and it's just frustrating. Because if he acted like that and was putting up numbers, we'd be like, yeah, Hicks is fucking cool. That's a cool ass guy. But when he misses the entire month of June, comes back in July and gets hit in the top of the shoelace and flips his bat 37 yards in the air to first base and then walks to second on a double play ball, you're like, what the fuck, man?
You know what though? If you look at the past 3 years, his OPS plus is 99.33. That is league
That's
average.
because he walks all the time.
Okay. Is a league average offensive hitter.
Dude,
I
here's
think
the
the
thing.
switch
if-
hitting, although it's not great from one side, still counts for something. Like matchup wise.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't fully hate Aaron Hicks.
Dude,
is
if
what
I don't
I'm trying to
hate
say.
Aaron Hicks
if
at
he if he gets on base, if he has a 350 on base percentage and stays healthy the whole year, I'm cool with it.
I guess let's talk about
I'm
that
cool- I'm
then.
cool
let's
with
look at
it.
his. Let's look at his.
I already have him up.
Okay, pull up his
Is that-
projections.
Yeah, so we're going with Zips, which is the notoriously conservative one. Keep that in mind. It has him playing 62 games.
Accurate.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my god.
First of all, that's ridiculous. That's,
Nailed it.
that's
That
crazy.
is that's your
That's
what,
spot on.
30%?
so the rest of
It's a little
the
lower, yeah.
projections all have him around 100. But so 62 games, which we're gonna keep it consistent because this is what we've been using for everything. 9 home runs.
62 games is 38% of the games.
That's about right.
Badly average for him.
14.5 walk percentage, which is good. 23% K, which is bad but fair. 223 batting average, 340 on base, and a 107 WRC plus, a 1 WAR.
I think that's all fair.
I mean, he had negative 0.3 WAR last year, so that'd be a plus.
If he plays 60 games for a 1 WAR, that's fine.
I
We
almost
have a
wanted to
suitable
say,
replacement.
yeah, I almost wanted to say throw away last year because it's such a small amount of games. But if he's projected double what he played last year, I think that's completely a fair sample size from last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he played 20% of the games last year. He's projected to play 38% this year. So
Dude, I mean, we haven't seen Aaron Hicks play a full real season since 2018.
yeah, right before he signed
Right
the
before he
contract.
signed a contract. So, I mean, it's a huge,
Hey, now.
it's a huge if.
Hey, now he played 90% of the games in 2020.
52 games.
54.
2020
Don't-
was
don't
So
sell him
close. Damn,
short.
I was really hoping it was 52 because that would have been sick. But I don't know. We haven't seen him play a whole season.
And he had a
in
122
while.
OPS plus.
Yeah, man. I mean, if he stays healthy, he could be an aggressively average center fielder for us.
I mean, that right there is
And
50.
That's what we want.
And
That's
that's
what
what
we
we
want.
want, baby.
If we're getting 60, how many games did they say?
62.
Okay, he played 54 in 2020. Pray for a 2020 year, because in 2020, that's a perfect sample size. He had a 122 OPS plus, a 414 slugging, a 793 OPS, not great. 122 OPS plus is what jumps out to me. A 379 OBP, 225 batting average, just above his body weight. 6 home runs,
His
21
standards are
ribbies.
so small.
4 stolen bases is pretty high, honestly. I didn't
He had
expect,
3.
considering-
He's
projected.
not stealing.
considering he's in the 46th percentile in sprint speed and 87th ranked among center fielders in terms of
Wait, Chandler, you
sprint
said
speed.
62 projected games? Yeah. That's perfect. That means Gardner can play the other 100.
Dude, I will actually cry. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't hate Hicks. I want him to be good so bad.
And I think we all do. I think
He's not a
obviously we
guy-
all do. Like we don't.
All of us want the Yankees to be good, but it's not a guy where we're coming in and he's like, "Oh, fuck that motherfucker." It's just frustrating because we've seen him have those big moments, and it's just a letdown. So
It's different from Gary because Gary actually played
yeah,
and then also sucked.
that's true.
Aaron Hicks just hasn't played and also sucked. So he has one of those things against him, but just not playing enough.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you see more golf clips of Aaron Hicks than baseball clips.
So, yeah,
I haven't seen a golf clip in a while.
I haven't
have.
either.
He hasn't hit an ace on a par 4 in a while.
Yeah. What do you think? Can somebody look up his arm strength numbers? Because that's obviously been the big thing.
Steady decline.
I feel like
is
since
a
that
steady
that
decline.
one where he absolutely nailed somebody
When he broke the record.
and he broke the record on
105.
that, he hit 105 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I feel like I think he just has been since. Like he just called it a quits after that.
Yeah,
He's like, I
like-
can't get any better than this, so
And
I'm
that was
just
his
gonna
peak.
stop.
That was his peak.
Well, didn't he have Tommy John too?
Yeah,
Fuck.
he had
Are
Tommy
you-
John. I was at the game where he snapped his elbow. Fun fact.
I used to love Aaron Hicks, dude. He was one of my favorite Yankees. He just the way he would pimp walks and he had the swagger. He's a pinch. He's a great outfielder.
Dude, the thing is,
He
like,
could
he's
switch
like,
hit.
he's also like, he seems a lot older than he actually is too.
He's 32.
I know, like I feel like he's 38 years old playing in the field right now. Like that does not look like a 32-year-old who's
You're right, I think-
a healthy 32-year-old playing baseball.
So he's 32 and he looks like he's 38. Brett Gardner's 38 and he looks like a spring chicken out there when he comes back out there.
Yeah. So who would you rather have?
I'd rather have Hicks.
Me
That'd
too.
be ridiculous. I hoped you weren't looking
Nah,
for
I was
the
kidding.
Brett Gardner answer. You know how they put up that the green light, red light,
Yeah, the Squid Game.
Not the Squid Game. When the Yes Network has that metric where they said where their arms rank.
Like who to run on, who not to run on.
We haven't seen that. I feel like for Hicks, where do you think he'll be ranked?
He's gonna be
Red, green, or yellow? I don't think it'll be green, dude. I think it'll be yellow.
His arm is
Certainly not red anymore.
I'm trying to find it. I'm
I'm also trying to find it.
struggling on
Two of our
baseball
best
stuff.
minds are on it,
Hey,
everybody.
Could you
baseball
imagine?
savant
Could
on
you
the
imagine if his
phone.
arm was still unbelievable and we had Gallo and Judge in the outfield? That is the
And Stanton.
well. I'm just saying the starting outfield would have been Gallo, Hicks, Judge. That is the strongest arms that'll probably throw in 2018 Hicks along with this current outfield. That's the strongest arm probably in all of the history of baseball.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Brett Gardner's arm last year was a liability in center field.
Wow.
Well, he's not really on the team yet, so
I know,
we'll
but
cross that
just-
bridge when we get there.
Just saying, he need like 4 cutoff
Are we gonna
men.
give him his own roll call?
No, this was his roll call.
This is roll call. If he's on the team, it'll be the least surprising thing that happens this offseason, and we're just gonna say okay.
Okay. What do you think Hicks's Sun probability factorial is? It's how we'll end all these episodes. And for those of you just tuning in for the first time, the Sun probability factorial is basically their likelihood of landing themselves on the sun. And and if you are listening to our podcast for the first time, didn't listen to anything last year, going to the Sun's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. Gary was
Brooks Krisky was on the Sun.
Gary
if
wasn't
that
the
helps.
mayor of the Sun, but he was probably like the chancellor
You got a nice little
of the
tan.
Sun.
Put it that way.
How about
Who was the mayor of the Sun? Heaney was the mayor of the Sun.
Some Sun alumni. We'll just leave it at that. Jay Bruce was the Sun
He
Meister.
was
He's
the
the
Sun
Sunmeister.
Meister. Yeah.
Jay Bruce was on the Sun. Brooks Krisky was on the Sun. Andrew Heaney was on the Sun. So basically, you're not in good company if you're there. Chad Green made his way on there for a brief stint.
Wandy Peralta made it on, but he got
First
off.
ever player off. Brett Gardner made it on the Sun already. He is a Sun alumnus.
And going into the 2022 season, the Sun resets.
Yes.
So
Unless you retired or were traded, went to a different team. from the Sun.
Sessa, well, he made it off the Sun too. Two people have gotten off the Sun. Wandy was the first. Sessa got off as well, and he got off right before the team decided to ship him off, which is great because you never want to see somebody get traded while on the Sun because then you're just forever in infamy of the Sun. So what do you think Hicks' Sun probability factorial is, Murph?
Expectations low included, I would say maybe 20%.
20% chance of making it on the Sun?
Whoa.
I think he finds his way to the Sun.
No.
that's
Like,
low.
That means he has no chance. Like Garrett Cole is
pretty
like, I
low.
think he
I
was
mean,
like
we were
a
saying
3.
7 for certain. I think you guys are going to be too quick this year to throw people on the Sun.
No,
No,
we
no.
can't. It's a majority vote.
We can't. No, I thought it was a unanimous vote.
It
is
unanimous.
Oh, you're right.
unanimous.
It's unanimous vote. Majority wouldn't
So
really
with
work
that
out
in
too well.
mind,
We
I
have 4 guys.
20%. I mean, if Hicks is still walking,
Hey,
and
Murph, you were
still-
saying that too. Don't forget. You can void it if
That's-
you don't agree.
No, I agree. I just don't. I don't see
No,
him really.
It's a fact.
I have some pretty.
No, I don't think he's gonna go to the Sun necessarily, but I'm sorry, I do think he's gonna go to the Sun at some point, and I think
Then why are you
20% is
saying-
a pretty high for that.
So I
don't
also
think
think
it's
he has a
50%.
high probability, and I'll give you my number, and you can tell me what you think about that. So yours at 20, and you think he has a high one. Mine's 70.
See, I'm not gonna be that quick to throw somebody on the Sun
If
if,
you're
they just
if
having
it's
a couple bad
July,
weeks.
if it's July, and Hicks is hitting 180 and playing bad center field and loafing around, he's gonna be on the fucking Sun. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Here's my
I think
question.
that there's a 50% chance he makes it to July.
That's what I was. My question.
I was
My
about to say
question was, where do we stand? Like, if he gets hurt
You can't put him on the Sun if he's
in
hurt.
May and just sits around and loafs around and he doesn't do anything and he's really living up to that 60 game projection, I think he might be the first person to get sent to the Sun while not playing.
I'm not doing that.
No, you can't do
There
that.
will not be a
I'm
person.
telling you
Okay,
right
so
now,
what
that's
if
not
what if
allowed.
okay, what if he's out and he's out for 4 months?
Then
Then he's
Then
nothing.
he's out for 4 months.
He's
and
out for
he's
4
just not
months.
in
He
the
can't
Sun.
make it to the Sun.
no.
We're gonna ruin the Sun. We're gonna overuse the Sun if we're doing that. We're
I
throwing different
think
people on.
an
Sun
addendum
is-
needs to be made.
No,
an amendment
I
to the
am not
rules.
going to vote on that. I'll tell you right now.
No, you're
Yeah,
outvoted here.
This is
Cross
why
that bridge when we
That's
get
the
there.
reason
why
why-
it is unanimous.
That's the
You
reason
are
why
outgunned
I
and
was gonna
outmanned.
say, like 38% Sun probability because I do think he'll get there. I'm pretty confident he'll get there, but I'm more confident he gets hurt.
See, I think 20 is high. Let me be clear about that. Like,
How?
He will get
Because
hurt
there's-
this year, and
Yeah,
he
if
won't
he
be able to
gets
go to the
hurt,
Sun.
he's
Didn't we
not gonna
give
make it to the
Gallo
Sun.
like 30?
I'm gonna give him 51%. Just get the majority vote. I think he's gonna. That's saying I think he's gonna make it to the Sun. You saying 20 means you don't think he's gonna make it to the Sun. So all of our numbers averaged up is 44.75 Sun factorial. That'll be his number.
Can we use the median? Because there's one drastically low number in this.
The middle number,
Yeah.
that would be of the remaining 3. Take out the outlier.
No, you leave the outlier and then you just get the median.
There's 4.
You average the middle two.
Okay.
And that's how you get the median. Come on, Luke.
Whoopsie. The median would be
Maybe-
44.5 is almost exactly the same.
Fuck.
Maybe I'm a Sun purist, but
I'm a Sun purist.
we
I
just
came up
go
with-
throwing everybody onto the Sun all willy nilly every time you have a 2-week down stretch.
It's not.
Well, the
though.
best part,
it
the best
loses
part
its
of first of all, we
luster.
haven't. Second of all,
You
the
have-
best
but
part
you're
about
scaring me with these numbers.
okay. Well, the best part of
Tell that
unanimous,
to Cashman.
you means you have a say in whether or not somebody gets on the Sun. You have to approve of it, Murphy, Mr. Sun.
No,
Purist.
I agree. I'm just saying these numbers were thrown around makes it seem like the Sun's gonna have 6 people at a time up there.
You want to know why these numbers are like that? Because we have a dog shit roster that was put together.
Okay,
All
enough.
right,
of you.
Chandler. Jeez.
All right, that does it for this episode. I do declare, if you enjoyed it, please give us 5-star rating on iTunes. We are doing the giveaway. We're going to announce that towards, I think I'd say probably, we haven't decided yet, but probably going to give it a few more episodes, maybe a week and a half before opening day to give you a sense and maybe get your travel plans in order if you're not close to the stadium. So if you want to enter, like I said before at the top of the show, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, and we will choose amongst those people. If you have already given us a review, I'm sorry. That's just, we love you and we appreciate you, but it's just new members. We'll find another giveaway for the
Get
people.
someone else to give a review, and you can go with them
Wow,
if you win.
Damon with the ideas. All right, that'll do it for